What are the best writing strategies for elementary students? Writing is one of the most important skills for success in school. As students progress through elementary school and beyond, the volume of writing that they'll have to do will only continue to increase. So, the earlier that you can teach your child strategies to develop their writing skills, the better it will be for them. At a young level, we want to start with just the basic sentence. Teach your child what a basic sentence is, and then work on how to expand that sentence using adjectives and adverbs, and of course, make sure that they capitalize the beginning of the sentence and use a proper punctuation mark at the end. You can even have them put a little box around the capital letter in the beginning and circle the period or whatever punctuation mark they're using at the end of their sentence, just to get them used to constantly using proper capitalization in the beginning and proper punctuation at the end. Then as students get a little bit older, we start to work on the real structure and organizational aspect of writing. We teach students that whenever we write, there are 3 steps that we should follow. First, we brainstorm, then we write, and then we go back and self-check our work. Well, how do I brainstorm? Brainstorming can take a variety of different forms. Many students like to create a visual web bubble where they might put the topic of what they're writing about in the middle, like maybe World War I. Then they'll branch out with little circle bubbles and they'll write in their details about that topic. Maybe it's what caused World War I, battles of World War I, and so forth. And they can even create sub-bubbles out of those detail bubbles. Some kids even like to color code their web diagrams. Maybe they'll use a blue color for the middle, a blue highlighter. And then for their detail bubbles, they might use a yellow highlighter. And maybe for those supporting detail bubbles, an orange highlighter. They can be creative. They can add pictures and images and so forth. Some kids like doing that on paper. Others like doing it on a computer. Some kids also like to create outlines or lists instead of an actual brainstorm web. Whichever form works best for your child is fine, but it's really important that they learn to brainstorm their ideas before they start writing. Then when students are ready, oftentimes we'll work on teaching them the structure of a simple paragraph. A simple paragraph is made of 5 sentences. We have the topic sentence, we have the 3 detail sentences, and then we have our conclusion sentence. We teach students that in their conclusion sentence, they can include their opinion. So it might be something really simple in the beginning where they're just learning this format. Like, there are many different flavors of ice cream. First, there's vanilla. Next, there is chocolate. Last, there is cookies and cream. I love ice cream. So that's really the basic structure of a simple paragraph. Of course, as they get used to that format, we can add more creative sentences, we can expand it a bit, but we want them to get used to that structured, organized format. Now, step 3 is going back and self-checking our work. Many kids love to not self-check their work and just to turn it in as is, and as a result, there's a lot of errors in their writing. One checklist that we often use for self-checking is called COPS. COPS stands for capitalization, organization, punctuation, and spelling. So at the bottom of your child's writing, you can have them write COPS with a little box next to each one. Have them individually go back and check for these elements. Capitalization, check, after they made sure everything was capitalized properly. Organization, punctuation, and then spelling, one element at a time. So again, just to reiterate, we want to teach our children that when we write, there are 3 steps we should follow. First, we should brainstorm, then we should write, and then we should go back and self-check our work. Again, writing is such a critical skill for success in school, and it only becomes more complex as students progress forward. So continue to encourage your child to write and to continue building their writing skills. My name is Dr. Emily Levy. I'm the founder and director of EBL Coaching, where we do a great deal of one-on-one writing tutoring, both in person as well as virtually. So contact us today to see how we can help your child build their writing skills.